Project-based learning is an active learning approach in which a student engages in their learning by working through a project, usually over the period of a module. As the university commits to being known for applied learning, the role of student projects in the curriculum becomes particularly useful. This presentation introduces the key ideas associated with project-based learning, an approach that is highly flexible and which provides many opportunities for engaging students in developing their understanding of the subject. The main opportunity in project-based learning is to engage students in developing something that can capture their imagination, and which creates a meaningful challenge that will motivate them to do well. This means taking a goal-focused approach. However, as we will see later, goal attainment drives a beneficial learning process. Projects are often collaborative and involve group work, but not always. In many respects, a dissertation can be understood as a project, for example. The student focuses on submitting a substantial piece of work in which they have invested a lot of effort. Along the way, they will have been through several learning milestones, each of which will have contributed to their understanding. This level of commitment is possible through other forms of project-based learning too. Projects are also highly structured. Typically, project work involves analysis of a brief, design of a solution, development work, and an iteration of using and evaluating the work. Each stage of a project is an opportunity to motivate the students as the challenge develops. During the project, the students are likely to be developing their knowledge just in time, either through taught classes and feedback or through discovery, as they resolve the problems that emerge along the way. The learning outcomes tend to be about how successfully the students respond to the project and its complexities. However, the students are likely to be more focused on achieving their goal, especially in the early days of the project. In the latter stages, it will be only through reflection that they will begin to fully understand what the project has meant to them and their learning. So let's look at how this transition from product focus can be shifted towards an emphasis on learning through the process. Initially, students are engaged by and encouraged to focus on the product or goal. Their initial focus will be about what they will produce in response to the project brief. Pedagogically, the teacher needs to scaffold a shift in the student's thinking from product or goal focus to the intended learning outcomes that come from a student's deep engagement in the process of responding to the assignment brief. This shift in focus and motivation is achieved through a structure of stages: the assignment briefing, an analysis of the brief, the design response and its development, and the implementation of the project and its evaluation, and from the evaluation through refinement to further implementation and evaluation. Scaffolding is achieved through a structure of stages, each of which provide an opportunity for rich reflection and feedback, indicated by the green dots. The first phase is mostly focused on formative learning. The end phase is focused on applying feedback to produce the summative assessment. The iteration around implementation as students improve their project artifact creates a heightened experience that will inform their summative assessment. The summative assessment can use methods such as presentations, project reports, blogging reflective accounts, authentic trials with real clients, Vivas, portfolio synthesis, and so forth. Importantly, students are engaged in a process of continuous feedback and reflection. It is critical that feedback is light touch, manageable, and continuous, as one stage is dependent on the preceding stages in the project process. Feedback is largely about clarification, correction, and reorientation at the beginning, and then later about refinement and enhancement leading to summative assessment. This is achieved by using techniques like feedback to the teacher, i.e. seeking clarification, self-reflection, for example building individual portfolios of reflective blogs and artifacts such as planning materials and drafts, peer feedback, for example from discussion with fellow group members, tutor feedback, for example based on formative activities such as design specifications or draft plans. Later, discussions and feedback focuses much more closely on the learning outcomes. A project-based learning approach, therefore, creates a potentially rich and immersive learning environment.